Back to Just Justin. I am Justin, and on today's video, we'll be talking about health update number 5. Yes, that's coming up right after this. All right, everyone, welcome back to my health update. Yes, I didn't do one last week, and I'll explain why in a minute, in a little bit. So my health update. So my diabetes, yes, it did go up. It went up to a 6 instead of a 5.7, but the holidays and my love of candy kind of screwed that over for me. But it's maintaining that level. So I'm happy for that. I don't have to go back. I just go back in 6 months instead of every 3 months. So that's pretty good. And I also got on some new medicine that is supposed to help my heart and my diabetes and help me lose weight. We'll talk about that here in a minute. And so, yeah, I've been eating a high protein diet and I've been seeing some results. You know, when I started this journey, I was 329, 330 pounds. And now I weighed myself yesterday and I was at 294.8. Yeah, that's pretty good. I broke that 300 mark. And I was doing pretty good. I was exercising. I hit the weights. I started hitting the weights, trying to build up, my muscle and stuff like that. Because I really haven't done much weightlifting because of my heart issue. Because I didn't want to push it too hard. I didn't want to stress my heart out and stuff like that. That's the last thing I want to do. And so, I started hitting the weights, and I started seeing some improvements. My weight was going down. I need to get my protein count up a little bit higher. But that's all going to change here shortly. I had a wake-up call. And so, yeah, my health is doing pretty good. I've lost an inch in my waist. And, I'm getting a little bit thinner. You can't really tell it, but I can tell it, okay? And so that is a good thing. Okay, so I didn't post last week when I was supposed to because I was laying in a hospital bed. Now, let me get into the story here, okay? On March 30th of 2022, it was a Wednesday, I suffered a cardiac event between 8 and 9 p.m. So let me do a little bit of the backstory. So on Wednesday, I've been feeling sick for about a month. Okay, I've been having diarrhea issues. It's a side effect of a medicine I was taking. Okay, and I thought it would pass. It usually passes. Once you get over that hurdle. Okay, it was not going away from me. And so I took my 4th shot. And that was, I think that was the turning point because I started to have severe diarrhea on Wednesday. So I'm thinking it has to do with the medicine I was taking and maybe a couple of other things. I maybe picked up a bug or something like that. But I was having a severe diarrhea on Wednesday. It got to the point where it was happening every 5 to 10 minutes. I was getting dehydrated. I was drinking, but I couldn't drink fast enough to replace the fluids that I was losing. And so my wife was like, let's go to the hospital. I'm like, no, I'm not going to the hospital. It's just diarrhea. I'm fine. But it got to a point where my watch was going off. My watch was starting to beep like crazy. And I looked down and my heart rate was out of control. It was out of control. It was going like 120, 130, 140, 150. It got to 160 and I was just going crazy. I was sweating like crazy. And I went in and I told my wife, I looked at my wife and she's like, let's go to the hospital. Cause I was just white. And so I proceeded to go out to the kitchen, and I didn't even make it to the garage before I threw up. I finally threw up after 3 days of. I threw up on Sunday night, Monday morning, and then I started throwing up, and I mean that I made it to the kitchen sink, and that was I filled the kitchen sink about halfway full. Before I got into the car, we went to the ER where they told me that they wanted me to wear a mask. I'm like, I need to go to the bathroom. I'm worried about wearing a stupid ass mask. I'm going to the bathroom, and they made my wife bring me one, and they said it'll be a long wait because it was people in the ER. My wife's like, he's having a heart attack. And it wasn't a heart attack, and they're like, okay, we'll get him back. And they took me back. They put the EKG on me. They couldn't because I was sweating so bad, nothing was sticking. And they found, he's got an irregular heartbeat. He's going into defib. I think they called it defib. I can't remember what the actual name was, but my heart was racing, and when it proceeded, it would have killed me. And so they took me back into the ER, into one of the rooms, where they proceeded to try to find a vein in my arms. They finally did. And they put a drug in me, and then they put the paddles on me. You know, the paddles you see in the movies where like shocking you. They put that on me, and they shocked me. And that took my heart, and it slowed it down from 160 back down to where it normally is. And so during that time, it was really super weird because it was dark. It was completely dark, okay? It was just completely dark. And then it was a bright light flashing. I think that's when they shocked me, is when I saw the bright lights flashing, and I was hearing voices, and my mind was going crazy. I was thinking I was in like the Tron movies, not an actual human being. That was really weird. And I started coming out of it, and I didn't know where I was and stuff like that. I asked them where the hell was I and stuff like that. And they're like, you're in the ER. Do you remember anything? Do you remember how you got here? And I remember them putting a drug in me. And it took a while for me to remember what led up to my ER visit. And that is no fun thing, to go into the ER and have them shock your heart to get it back to normal. It never stopped, okay? It never stopped. I know I wasn't dead or anything like that. It never stopped. But if it would have continued, I probably would not be here talking right now. And so that kind of was a wake-up call for me. Yes, my quest to lose weight, I was on a new medicine to try to help my weight loss, my diabetes, and my heart, and I'm not taking that medicine anymore to see if that was it or not. And so far I feel good. I took a week off of work because I couldn't go back to work because I was in the ICU for 2 days. Yeah, let's talk about the ICU. I was in the ICU and I was doing better, and then I got released to go into a normal room. And then during the middle of the night, my blood pressure crashed. It just went lower and lower and lower and lower. So they took me for a CT scan to see what was going on in my stomach and things like that. And they couldn't find anything. Yeah, they couldn't find anything going on. So they took me back to the ICU. They hooked me up to more fluids and trying to get me stabilized. And I finally got stabilized throughout the day. Then I went to a normal room again. I think it was late at night. And then I got released on Saturday. But yeah, it was a wake-up call, not only for me, but for my wife, because she doesn't know all the passwords. And she's like, I don't know anything. Where's all those passwords? Where's the, And so, it was a wake-up call for me, saying that I need to just focus on my weight loss and keeping healthy, and not try to do shortcuts anymore. Like this medicine was supposed to help me in 3 areas, and it wasn't. I had severe side effects. I don't know if it was that or if it was a combination of things, but I'm just here. All right. And so I'm just going to continue with my plan of eating and working out, walking. Yes, cardio doesn't really burn the fat. And I'm going to throw in more weights. I bought some more weights for my home gym, and I'm going to be using those here more and more and more. So that is my health update. Yes, I was losing weight. You know, with everything that I was coming out of my body, I thought it'd be like 280. I was like, yeah, you know, I'm losing, yeah, you know, it's not a good way to lose weight. No, I didn't. I didn't lose any pounds. It's frustrating. I actually gained, I went into the hospital at 297 and I gained 5 pounds. Probably because all the fluids they were putting back in my body. But yeah, so I am just going to be healthy, and I am going to just do what I need to do in order to lose the weight. I'm not going to take any more shortcuts. All right. And so until the next video, guys, we will see you in the next one. Have a good one.